Alright, hey, Shalom Makyam, YAHAWAH of the elect of the nation of Israel. And we're out here once again at the battlefield. Today is October 31st, okay, which is the day of a wicked ass holiday based upon the calendar of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, we're out here in San Diego, California, which is part of Babylon the Great. Today we have a special guest, okay, Brother Nakar, about to bring it out. Beautiful brother. So, hey, we turn to the east. First and foremost, we give all praises to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAKAKWADASH. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, which are the men that taught us the 100% truth according to the Holy Scriptures. Okay, again, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites according to the Holy Scriptures. Also the Gentiles, okay, the Gentiles that are scattered amongst the heathen, that might look like the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, that might look like Moab or Ammon. So again, we're out here, man. We are the prophets of the Northern Kingdom, okay, to bring out the words of Yahawah, Shemetic, and condemn, okay, there's a wicked high holiday on the left-hand side, which that holiday is Halloween, which Halloween goes back, okay, to the Celtics. And not only that, but when you go into history, it actually goes back to Tammuz, okay, Tammuz and the worshiping, okay, of idols, okay, the worshiping of devils, okay, you know, sacrificing your seed to Moloch. And according to the scriptures, according to the law, the Torah, which is the word Torah in the Hebrew is Torah, according to the Torah, you're not supposed, okay, to you know, worship, okay, false idols. So we have an opening precept, okay, the brother Nakar is going to bring out Amos, the 5th chapter. Isaiah 5, Baba Bushar. And Lord's will, this camp session is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel in these last days. Go ahead, Akio.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20.
Yeah.
Woe unto them that call evil good.
Yeah, it says, woe unto them that call evil good. That word woe, it actually means destruction. So the Lord actually condemned the nation of Israel unto destruction. To them that said what? It said what, bro?
Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Go ahead.
That put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Yeah, and that goes into how Esau has turned things upside down. Hey, like a good example is that series of Stranger Things. There's an actual place that's called I think it's called the Upside Down. Okay, which goes into above, as above, so below. That goes into that that idol known as Baphomet. You ever see the statue of Baphomet? Okay, it's an actual statue of a half man and a half goat. Okay, plus it has transgender characteristics. It has a man boob, so to speak. Okay, but that goes into what? Confusion. And that's what Esau Edom pushes. He pushes the vibration of confusion. He says that left is right, right is left. And another good example of good being evil and evil being good is the English language. For example, like in the Hebrew, it's written from right to left. But Esau Edom uses what? He uses the English and even the Spanish, which goes back to the Latin, and you have to read it from right to left. Okay, that's an example, okay, of turning things upside down. Read that one more time, Papa Kushar, bro. And Halloween, that's an example of a very bitter spirit. Okay, and a matter of fact, when you go into that word bitter, that's where you get the word America. In America, that prefix, okay, it goes into Amar in the Hebrew, which actually means bitter. Okay, when you go in and you study, you do your diligent search, okay, the word America, the prefix Amer, it actually means bitter. And this place is America. It's a very bitter place to be in. That's why everybody's in a bitter state. Okay, they're in a very sorrowful spirit. Why? Because of the worshiping of idols. Like it tells you that in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, it says that the beginning of sin, okay, started with the false idols.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20.
Yeah.
Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. That put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, that they were sacrificing to idols. Here's another one. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 17. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God.
Yeah, they sacrifice unto devils and unto God. And that's happening now in this wicked holiday known as Halloween. our people are sacrificing to devils. How are they sacrificing to devils? Hey, they're candies, eating candies. Okay, knocking on doors. Okay, because that goes back to the Celtics when they were knocking on doors. Okay, they were actually receiving those various different spirits, man. Okay, the spirit of Tammuz, the spirit of Nimrod. Okay, it all goes back to Nimrod. When I get that, I think it's Genesis, the 10th chapter, the spirit of Nimrod, which when you go and study the name Nimrod, goes into the Hebrew name Namarad, which means rebellion. And according to 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, it says, for rebellion is as a sin as witchcraft. So if you're worshiping this wicked high holiday known as Halloween, you're actually rebelling against YAHAWASHI and the angels.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 8.
Yep.
No, chapter 10, verse 8.
Yep.
And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Yeah, Nimrod, he was a mighty one in the earth. And why was he mighty? Because he received, the power of YAHAWASHI on the left-hand side. He was building they call it the Tower of Babel, which means confusion. And that same tower is actually being built upon here in Babylon the Great, starting with what? The wicked high holidays, like Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. These are all pagan holidays. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 9, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Yeah, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. And on the right-hand side were also hunters. Okay, it tells us that in the book of Jeremiah. Okay, I will make my fishers into hunters. But on the left-hand side, Nimrod, he was a hunter, of wickedness. Okay, he's hunting, setting traps and snares, for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man and woman, primarily the prophets. Go ahead, bro.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Yeah, and again, all these high holy days that a lot of our people worship, they will go back to Nimrod. Okay, they will go back to rebellion. Want to hold that and get First Samuel 15 and 23, because it tells you in the scriptures that rebellion is as like the sin of witchcraft.
15 and 23.
And 23, Babasham.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Again, that word rebellion goes back to the name Nimrod, Hamarad. So if you go into the ways of modern day Nimrod, because the modern day Nimrod is it's Esau and Edom. Okay, the modern day Babylonians, that same spirit is back here in America, primarily here, in the state of California, in the state of New York. Okay, go ahead, bro.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Yeah, so it's witchcraft. So if you practice this high holy day, you're doing witchcraft. And according to the scriptures in Exodus, the 22nd chapter, it says, I suffer a witch not to live. So a lot of you brothers and sisters who are practicing this high holy day, you're actually rebelling against the YAHAWASHI, and the Lord's going to burn you. He's going to burn you with what? With those ICBM missiles. Go ahead, bro.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
Yup, and stubbornnness is as iniquity and stubbornness. And that goes back to the same spirit as Saul. When you go into the history of our forefather Saul, when she's from the tribe of Benjamin, from Yahya, that's an example of 2/3 of our people. And there's an account of our forefather Saul. He actually went to go seek that mediator.
Yeah, 28. That's chapter 28.
They want to get that.
Yeah.
And that's the same spirit that our people are following. They're following mediators. Matter of fact, out there by the city, by the neighborhood, they have a huge billboard that says psychic reader. And a lot of those psychic readers, a lot of them are Edomites or heathens. But a lot of our people, especially the women, they go to those witches, they go to those mediators, to seek what? To seek their future. But according to the scriptures, that's going off. That's rebellion and wickedness. You're not supposed to go, with these witches, for them to read your hand or your future. The only power that knows your future is YAHAWASHI. Whatever.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 28, verse 7.
Yeah.
Then said Saul unto his servant. Well, let's start from the beginning to get context. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 28, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare.
Yup, the Philistines gathered themselves for warfare, and the modern day Philistines again. That's Babylon the Great. It's Esau, Edom. Those Philistines actually go back to the Cushites, which goes back to who? Nimrod. Go ahead.
to gather their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel.
To fight with who?
Israel.
Israel. See, and that's happening now. The modern day Philistines, they want to fight Israel with what? With the media, with propaganda, with high holy days. Go ahead.
And Ahish said unto David, Know thou surely that thou should go out with me to battle, thou and thy man.
Yep.
And David said to Ahish, Surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Ahish said to David, Therefore will I make thee keeper of my head over Salah. Will I make thee keeper of my head forever.
Yep.
Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits, and the wizards.
It said that Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits. Now the modern day familiar spirits, that goes into those who dress up as various characters of Halloween, like who? Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. Okay, what are some other examples?
Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
Like they also celebrities. People be like celebrities that die, like singers. A lot of people are dressing like Nipsey Hussle, Tupac,
Michael Jackson,
Biggie Smalls.
And that's an example of let the dead bury the dead. And that also goes into Proverbs where it says, he that followeth the way without understanding shall befall with the congregation of the dead. We're paraphrasing. Whatever.
Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shemnel. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw that host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled.
It said that Saul, he was afraid of the Philistines. And that's actual sin too, being afraid of your enemy. When you go into the law, Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter, it says, be not afraid of your enemy. And that's a sin according to the scriptures. You're not supposed to be afraid of the modern day Philistines. Okay, you're not supposed to be afraid to come out to the highways and hedges and condemn, 2/3 of our people and the heathens. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6, and when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not.
And the Lord answered him not. Why is that? Going back to the 15th chapter, the Lord rejected Saul. Okay, he was rejected because of rebellion. Go ahead.
Neither by dreams, nor by Urims, nor by prophets.
The Urim and Thummim. Okay, and go ahead.
Then said Saul unto his servant, Seek me a woman that had a familiar spirit.
Seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit. Now Saul, he was like it tells you in the scriptures, David was waxing stronger and stronger, while Saul was waxing weaker and weaker. So there's an example of Saul waxing weaker, and that's happening to a lot of 2/3 of our people. They're waxing weaker every day. Okay, by doing what? By worshiping Halloween again, Christmas, the wicked holidays. Go ahead.
Then said Saul unto his servant, Seek me a woman that had a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her.
And according to the scriptures, you're not supposed to inquire with those evil spirits when you go into the law of Leviticus, the 19th chapter.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits.
So that's another another strike for Saul. He already went off once by rebelling against the Lord. He went off by going to that witch, and now he's going off again. Okay, going with familiar spirits. Go ahead.
Neither seek after wizards.
It says neither seek after wizards and warlocks, witches, and that's what you see here in your modern day Babylonian system. A lot of our people are worshiping Shaitan ultimately.
Oh yeah,
they're worshiping the adversary. They want to stay in this kingdom. Okay?
They're also into horoscopes, chakras.
Hey, especially the woman.
The woman.
A good example, brothers have, you might have social media on Instagram. You might follow a worldly woman, or your classmates, back from high school or even college. A lot of these wicked Israelite women, they have a lot of zodiac sign posts. Might have Sagittarius, like
a lot of astrology, and then pretty much they repost the meme about it, say, I'm a horoscope, and these are the do's and the don'ts, and like the good and the bad. It's just like makes no sense at all.
And it makes no sense, and that's a hypocrisy too, bro. Because a lot of these women will have a Bible scripture, and then they'll have the emoji of the zodiac sign.
Yeah.
So that's an example of a lot of hypocrisy of our women. Go ahead.
Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them.
To be defiled by them. So if you go and seek familiar spirits, you're defiled by them. And that's what you see here. And today in Halloween, a lot of our people are defiled by following the ways, okay, of those evil spirits.
You also got a lot of palm readers around. A lot of people go to palm readers to get their palm reading, and then they see a line, and then this and that.
Yeah.
You see that a lot.
Yeah, that's facts. Palm reading, again, like the brother mentioned, zodiac signs. And when you go back into history, the reason why our people went out, that was because of the zodiac signs. On the left-hand side, there's how many zodiac signs? 12. You got Sagittarius, Capricorn, which it all goes back to the worshiping of animals. Because a lot of these zodiac signs, they're all animals. Okay, we're gonna get, I think that's Deuteronomy.
Yeah, I think, I got it.
I think it goes into Deuteronomy 20. Okay, it also goes into bestiality. Okay, sleeping with the beast, with the spiritual beast. Which when you go into that word beast in the Greek, it goes into terion. And that word terion in the Greek, it actually means a savage man. So a lot of our people who are following Halloween, we're actually following the ways of the beast. Okay, the ways of NATO and the EU. Okay, and ultimately that great whore, which is America. Okay, America, the whore that rideth upon that beast. Okay, last thing, bro. Yeah, but while you get there, real quick, I want to get I had it on deck here. This is the book of.
Oh, here, I got it. Okay, so long. This is the book of Deuteronomy, and it's gonna tell you pretty much.
What does Deuteronomy mean? Deuteronomy means the second utterance of the law, because what YAHAWASHI does, he's a power of repetition. You know how they say repetition makes a master?
Yeah.
So our Israel are so stiff-necked and they're so ignorant that you got to repeat it over and over again like a broken record. Go ahead, bro.
So this is pretty much when he's going to give us our lands when we leave in Egypt. So it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Yeah, what is the land? That land, before we got there and conquered it, that was the land of Canaan, the Canaanites. Okay, when you study the history of the Canaanites, they were following the same traditions as the Sumerians. They were going off. Okay, again, sacrificing their children. Okay, getting all kinds of tattoos. Okay, just going off. Go ahead.
When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Yep, you shall not do or follow the abominations of those nations. You want to hold that real quick, bro? They want to get Proverbs. I think that's the 6th chapter where it says the Lord hates 6 things, and 7th does he detest. You see, so the Lord said, according to the Bible, you're not supposed to follow the abominations of those nations, because the nations follow after their own wicked imaginations.
Right here. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 16.
Yep.
These 6 things do the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him.
Yeah, which the number, the Lord deals with numerology. 6 means incomplete, and that's the number of Esau, Edom. But now he goes into 7. 7 means completion. So he hates a complete number of abominations. Go ahead.
A proud look.
A proud look. A haughty look. Go ahead.
A lying tongue.
A lying tongue, which that goes back to Esau, Edom. He has these characteristics. He has a proud look, and he has a lying tongue. Go ahead.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
And hands that shed innocent blood. Okay, and what is that innocent blood? Well, the real Holocaust, because according to Esau, Edom, he likes to say that the real Holocaust happened out there
with the
Germans, with the Nazis. But the real Holocaust happened right here in this land, which it used to be before. It was so-called Babylon the Great. It was Arsareth, but also it was Aslan. The nation of Aslan, which is the nation of Issachar. But not only Issachar dwelled in this land, but you also had Gad, you had Reuben, you had the various different northern tribes. But what did Esau Edom came? He came to adapt his lying tongue, okay, and he had his what? He had his blessing to destroy, okay, the nation of Israel. He shed a lot of the blood of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans still to this day. Okay, over 50 million Native Americans have been killed in this land, and still counting. Go ahead, bro.
Because they say in Alaska, a lot of them be going missing over there. They even made a movie about it too.
Yeah, in Alaska we have a lot of Gadites out there.
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of these, like the brother mentioned, they call it kidnapping, and that's spiritual too, bro. Because yesterday I went to Walmart. You know, like as soon as you go in, you turn on the right side, and it says missing person.
Yeah, they always have that at Walmart. I remember growing up, and as a kid going there, they always had a post of missing kids, missing women. It's like, oh.
And who are those missing kids? The majority of them, they're all who? Issachar, Gad, and a lot of them they're under 18 years old. And you go into the average age of these children, they're between 8 years old all the way to 12. Okay, and they use those children to sacrifice them, bro. Sacrifice them, kidnap them, rape them and they sell their organs.
Yeah, organ harvest.
The water, bro. Organ harvest.
They freaking sodomize them for that panda eyes to get the what's it called, that blood. Keep them young, adrenochrome. Yeah, the only way they could do that for a kid, they do it for a kid who's a pure and hasn't done anything innocent, and they torture them. They even did it in a movie. It came out in a movie. What was it? Doctor
Who?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. It talks about how that girl's having nightmares and the adults are just killing the kid, and then all the mist comes out, and they're just there.
And that mist goes into the spirit, or they go into ultimately the soul. Because again, like the brother mentioned, a lot of our people, because according to the scriptures, you're actually an adult once you turn 12 years old. But before that, when you're 11, when you're 10 years old, and that's the spirit, because we have kids over here, we have a lot of Jake. A lot of our people, before they turn 12 years old, they're actually pure. Okay, they don't have those wicked thoughts that we do as we grow up, because they're so-called innocent. They're pure. Okay, and you can see that when you take pictures of your so-called kids before they're 12, you can see their pure face. But after 12, you take a picture, you probably see a little demon here and there.
Their eyes, because of what they seen.
Yeah, what they seen. They seen what? The good and the evil. They saw the tree, the tree of the good and evil. Yeah, the water, bro. But going back, like the brother mentioned, okay, those kids that have their organ harvested in the black market. Okay, and that's how Esau Edom makes millions of dollars. Okay, by harvesting the organs of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men and women.
Or they go to third world countries and get like our own people to, pretty much abduct those kids, and then they get it. Like if they need a liver, they don't want to wait for the waiting list. They go to third world countries, they get it from our own people. And then they pay a lot of money for it. All people steal it from there and they bring it to America, and then people from America pay for it too.
And not only that, but they also sell, especially in the Southern Kingdom, they have something known as melanin.
Oh yeah, man.
And melanin is actually worth, I believe, 10 times more worth than gold. Okay, and that's what the melanin, that's what Esau Edom uses, okay, to get so-called powers, okay, on the left-hand side. Because melanin is the actual, we call it carbon, okay, and it goes into gold. Because a lot of Israelites, we have, gold, various elements of the periodic table, and Esau Edom uses those various colors of our people to get power.
And that's how we glow when the sun hits us and they get burned.
Oh, that's facts.
So again, back to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16.
Yep.
These 16 do the Lord hate. 7 are an abomination unto him.
Yep.
A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood,
Yep.
and heart that deviseth wicked imagination.
Yep. It says a heart that imagines wicked imaginations. Want to get Proverbs or Psalms 2, why do the heathen rage? Okay, those wicked, matter of fact, when you go into the word demon, one of those words, one of the synonyms of the word demon, it actually goes into imaginations. And when you go into the prefix of imaginations, that's where we get the word image. And again, when you go into that word image, it goes into icon, which goes into a deity, which goes into what? A way of life.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1.
Yep.
Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing?
Imagine a vain thing.
Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
There you go again, the word imagine. Again, that's a prefix for imagination. And Halloween, that's a wicked imagination. That's the wicked imagination, okay, of the heathen. Okay, I think that's in Jeremiah 2 where it says, okay, the heart, which the heart in the Hebrew is la'ah, which means your mind. It says the heart is deceitful above all things. Okay, who can't know it? See, because the mind, the imagination of the heathens, man, it's pure wickedness. Where is that? Because they don't have the law, they don't have the Torah, they don't have the laws and the prophecies of YAHAWAH, Shemetic. That's why they have the justification, okay, to adapt wickedness all throughout the four winds of the earth.
That's why they call them beasts, man. They're the beasts of the earth.
Yep.
A heart that devises wicked imagination, feet that be swift and running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren.
Yeah, and that's what Esau's doing. With his wicked holiday known as Halloween, is actually causing a discord amongst brethren. That word discord simply means a division amongst the tribes. Okay, well, again, with Halloween, which again goes back to the Celtics, which is a wicked holiday, okay, of Tammuz. If you want to get Ezekiel the 8th chapter. You want to start in the context, verse 1. because even the chapter after Ezekiel, the 8th chapter, Ezekiel 9, it goes into YAHAWASHI telling the angels, okay, to go in the midst of Jerusalem and slay it to those that don't have that mark, that Torah. And why is that? It tells us that in the book of Ezekiel, the 8th chapter.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, verse 1. Yep. And it came to pass in the 6th year, and the 6th year, yep, and the 6th month, and the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of a brightness, as the color of ember. And he put forth the form of a hand, and took me by a lock of my head. And the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the vision of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looked towards the north, which was the seat of an image of jealousy, which provoked jealousy.
Yeah, and the Lord, he's the jealous power. The Lord, okay, he's actually jealous of seeing Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans following the ways of Halloween, which again, the word Halloween simply means Hallows Eve. Just like you have Christmas Eve, which means the day before the actual, okay, holiday, because in reality, Halloween was celebrated in November 1st. But on the Western Hemisphere, they celebrated as soon as the sun sets on evening. Okay, go ahead, bro.
And it's funny because he even told us when he gave us the 10 Commandments in Exodus chapter 20, yep, he was a jealous God.
All kind, Exodus, kind. Yep.
I gotta bring it out.
Exodus 20 on down to I think the last. Yeah, it's around like the 10th verse where it says, "I am the jealous power."
Yeah, looking for it.
Exodus. You're in Exodus 20?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. This is the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. I'll keep it in context.
Right.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Yep.
To this day, you know, this is spiritual Egypt because we're still in bondage with the so-called white man.
Yep. We're in modern day Egypt, which is the 7th captivity. The last captivity of the Israelites. Go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Yep.
So right here he's letting us know that we shouldn't have another gods before him.
Yep.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything.
And that's a spirit, because the graven image actually goes into those pumpkins.
The jack-o'-lanterns.
The jack-o'-lanterns, which actually the original pumpkins actually goes to into the that vegetable known as the turnips, because back in Ireland they didn't have pumpkins, they had turnips. So they would actually carve those turnips, and they would have an actual a demonic face on them.
Oh yeah.
When you go on Google, you go and Google turnip Halloween. Okay, has those demonic faces.
And they used to also put it in scarecrows.
Oh yeah, on scarecrows to so-called scare the spirits.
Yeah. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, and that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Yeah, and that's why that's what's happening now. The Lord is actually showing his power through the heathen. I think that was like 3-4 days ago. There was an actual stampede out there in South Korea. And that's an example of YAHAWASHI judging the heathen first and foremost before he judges Israel.
Wasn't it like 147 injury and like 59 died?
Yeah, no, 140 plus dead and around vice versa, 50 injured. And why is that? Because they were following the ways, okay, of the heathen. And I actually made a video on that. Okay, it's spiritual too, because you might have probably a Jake in there in the midst of the stampede. Okay, why? Because of worshiping idols. Another example too, out here in SD, bro, by National City, it was a Halloween party. You had 2 Jakes, a man and a woman, over 16 and 18 years old. They actually got shot for celebrating Halloween, bro. Around like 2 a.m. Okay, that's another example of judgment upon those who follow, the high holy day of Shaitan.
A lot of spirits out here doing their job that the Most High is putting out there.
Yeah, going back to Job, it says Shaitan goeth to and fro, deceiving the whole nations with what? Again, with Halloween. Halloween being a wicked imaginations of the heathen.
Back to Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 3.
Yep.
Talk about who was jealous, which was Yahawah, who is jealous.
Yeah, he's a jealous power.
Jealous. It's the Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 3.
Matter of fact, Salaki, hold that, bro, and get Proverbs, BAHASHAM, where it goes into, I think it's Proverbs 6. Jealousy is the rage of a man.
Oh, yeah, when he lays down with another woman.
Yeah, and that's spiritual too, because why is YAHAWASHI jealous? Because according to the covenant, the nation of Israel were like unto the wife of the Heavenly Father, were his woman. You see? And if your woman goes commit adultery, of course you're going to get jealous. And what's going to happen? And according to the law, he that commits adultery with the woman, the adulteress, and the one that committed adultery, they both shall get put to death. So what's going to happen to Esau, Edom, for committing adultery with the nation of Israel? They're going to get put to death, man. Okay?
So this is the book of Proverbs chapter 6, verse 34.
Yeah.
For jealousy is the rage of a man.
There you go. That's spiritual too. That's twofold. Well, on the spiritual sense, it says what again, BAHASHAM?
For jealousy is the rage of a man.
So jealousy is the rage of a man. Going back to the law, Yahawah, he's a jealous power. Go ahead.
Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. And that's what Yahawashi said. Vengeance is in my heart. Yahawashi can't wait to come down. When you go into the gospel, it says that Yahawashi ain't gonna come down and bring peace. He ain't gonna come and give you Hershey candies, Skittles. He's coming here with a sword. And first, that sword, it actually starts with Esau on the left hand side. He's known as a sword. But on the right hand side, the sword of YAHAWASHI, that's the prophets. Want to get Isaiah 49, bro? 49 and 1 down to 2. To prove that the sword, it's also the prophets. We're the sword of YAHAWASHI. Going into the book of Hebrews, the 4th chapter, the 12th verse, also it says that the word of Yahawah is quick and powerful, sharper than a two-edged sword. See that? So just like Esau is a sword, well, guess what? Also the prophets were an example of the sword of YAHAWASHI to bring vengeance upon the heathen. That's in verse 1 down to verse 2.
Isaiah 49, right?
And 1 down to 2.
1 and 2. Yep. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 1. Listen, O Israel, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far.
Yeah, and we are the people from far. Okay, and that's where you get, matter of fact, it says the people from far, that's where you get the word Hebrew, or Ibar. People from the far east, go ahead.
The Lord had called me from the womb.
The Lord has called me from the womb. That goes into the prophets, go ahead.
From the bowels of my mother had he made mention of my name.
Yep, go ahead.
And he had made my mouth like a sharp sword.
There you go again, like a sharp what, bro?
Like a sharp sword.
Like a sharp sword. So even the prophets were like unto a sword of YAHAWASHI on the right hand side, go ahead.
And the shadow of his hand had he hid me.
Yep, the shadow of his hand has he hid me, because that shadow means protection. Okay, the shadow of protection from the sun. Okay, go ahead.
And made me a polished shaft, and his quiver had he hid me.
Yep. So there you go. Just the point is, like I said in that statement, that we are the sword of YAHAWASHI, pursuant to Isaiah the 49th chapter and the 2nd verse. So going back to that precept that we had, I think that was Proverbs.
Was it
Proverbs?
Jealousy?
Yeah, and then go back to Exodus. So you see, the scriptures, they tell you clear, okay, of what YAHAWASHI wants. Okay, he wants you Israelites, okay, to worship your power in sincerity and in truth. Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Yep. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
Yeah, therefore he will not spare you. Or he's going to show mercy in the day of vengeance.
He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts.
Yeah, and that goes into ransom, goes into, Lord, please, no, I'll give you this. Lord, look, I have $10,000.
You can't buy your way in.
You can't buy your way in. Yup, that's facts, you cannot buy your way in. See, you can't tell the Lord, look, like, for example, you might have Floyd Mayweather, he has, what, $1 billion? See, and when the day of vengeance comes, according to the scriptures, riches profit not in the day of wrath. But what more righteousness delivered from death? So righteousness, okay, that goes into what? Going out to the highways and hedges, teaching your people who they are. That's an example of righteousness. And now the scriptures does say that our righteousness are as a filthy rag. Okay? But then again, we have what? We have mercy, we have grace, where the Lord has given us grace and mercy, okay, to show him a spiritual sacrifice based upon the righteousness of what he wants. Strong, brother.
This is the book of Psalms 119, verse 142. Chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
See that? And the law is the truth. See? And we want to get John 14:6, bro?
There's one that goes John 8:8,
Oh,
34, no?
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah, no, you good, bro?
I'll do the one that you wanted.
No, you good, okay? And that's a beautiful precept that the brother brought out. Okay, Psalms 119, 142, going into righteousness. Okay, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
This is the book of John, chapter 8,
Yep.
verse 32. And you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So you can go back to Psalms 119 and 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
You know, thy law is the truth. And that goes back to Psalms 119, where King David said, I love thy law, therefore I hate every false way. And when you go into that word way, that's where you get the word deity or diet, a way of life, a way of, or your lifestyle. Okay, and the lifestyle of so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, it has to be set apart or sacred from the ways of the heathen here in captivity, man, to the best of your ability. What you got, bro? Bro, if you want to go back to Ezekiel, going into Tammuz.
Oh yeah, I got you the 18.
Sure. So there you go, man. Righteousness and the truth, okay, that's synonymous with the law. And the law, okay, is the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses. And ultimately, YAHAWASHI said, what? Lo, I come in the volume of the book. So the whole scriptures is the actual law. Okay, you have dietary laws, you have laws of wisdom, how to move, how to maneuver in a wicked society, in a very demonic vibration of the kingdom of Esau, Edom. That's another example of the law. YAHAWASHI said, think not that I came to destroy the law of the prophets. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. Okay, to fulfill what? Prophecy about YAHAWASHI, because YAHAWASHI was, okay, he is the best example of how to be, how to conduct yourselves, okay, in the valley of the shadow of death, like King David said in Psalms, the 23rd chapter.
This is the book of, you want me to go to?
Straight to the point, verse
14? This is right in chapter 8, verse 14. Then he brought me into the door of the gate of the Lord's house.
Yeah, start at
13.
9.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, verse 9.
Yep.
And he said unto me, go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here.
There you go again, that word abominations. Go ahead.
So I went in and saw,
And not only abominations, but wicked imaginations. That's YAHAWASHI adding extra cherry on top. Go ahead.
And he said unto me, go in and behold the wicked abomination that they do here.
And what are some examples of those of an abomination right there, bro? Fucking, you have Esau dressed with fucking short shorts, okay, fucking purple short shirt, you know, looking like fucking Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Go ahead, bro.
All right.
That's an example of a wicked, okay, a wicked abomination that YAHAWASHI hates.
Verse 10. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts.
Hey, every form of creeping things. It says every form of creeping things, and that's the spirit, because doesn't Halloween celebrate creeping things?
Yeah,
cats,
bats.
bats. Those are unclean animals. Rats. Matter of fact, out there by the neighborhood, okay, when you pass by, there's an actual plaza. You have a lot of houses, and every house has an actual statue, an image of a rat, a black rat with red eyes, cats, bats, pumpkins. Okay, that's an example of what the brother read in Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. Okay, abominable, okay, creeping things. Go ahead, bro.
So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts.
Spiders.
And all the idols of the house of Israel.
Oh, all the idols of the house of Israel.
Portray upon the wall round about.
And you see that in the modern day Babylon, a lot of our northern kingdom, they have those, the Virgin Mary,
Santa Muerte.
Especially Santa
Muerte.
Right now,
the Dia de los Muertos, they're celebrating the same day as Halloween.
Yep, and Northern Kingdom celebrates it on November 1st, and Southern Kingdom, the majority celebrate it on October 31st. That's how you know we're the Israelites, man, following the ways of Tammuz. Go ahead.
And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. And in the midst of them stood Yaasaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand. And a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark?
Hey, it says that they do it what? In the dark. And isn't Halloween celebrated what in the dark side, or in the evening? Okay,
right now everyone's coming down with the
yeah, that's the spirit.
This car right there.
And that's the spirit too, because even before we started camp, it was just quiet, bro.
It was quiet.
It was quiet, made like one car every like 10-minute interval.
Now there's traffic going on.
But as soon as the prophets come out, you know, in the evening to condemn this wicked high holiday, now you have a lot of demons coming out, okay, because they come out in the dark, okay, in the darkness, which goes into what ignorance. Go ahead, bro.
Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark?
And that's the spirit too, because the majority of the people that celebrate the high holy days is the actual the agents, the older men, the older women, okay, and the elders, and they give those examples to their children to follow the ways of Esau, Edom. Okay, bro.
Every man in the chambers of his imaginary imagery.
There you go again. That word image, imaginations or imagery, right? And that goes into what a lot of our people like to dress up as that modern day serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh yeah, a lot of them were dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer. There was this one guy that I saw. He posted a video. He was a change. He dressed up and he had a life as Jeffrey Dahmer. And he had like a lot of people were just talking smack to him. A lot of people are dressing up their kids. I saw a picture that a mom dressed up. She was Esau.
Yeah.
She dressed up her son as Jeffrey Dahmer, and in a bucket of her candy bucket, he had like cut up hands with blood. It's like, what kind of crap is that? Like, that's wicked as hell. To show that to your son.
Yeah, it's fucking wicked.
Make your son dress like that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's an example we just read. The imagery of our people that like to follow the ways of Esau. Because when you go into Jeffrey Dahmer, he's a hardcore Edomite. He's a hardcore Edomite. And when you go into the history of Jeffrey Dahmer, the majority of his murders, the people that he murdered were blacks and Latinos.
Yep.
Men. And
I think it was like one Asian, the rest were just blacks and Issachar and Jake.
Southern and Northern Kingdom. But also that goes into the book of Sirach, where it says that the Lord created spirits for vengeance. And Jeffrey Dahmer, that's an example of the spirit of vengeance, man. Okay?
He's using Jeffrey Dahmer to, do judgment for the Most High to them, which was kind of messed up. In the eyes of the Lord, that's righteousness. They were laying with other men, and that was against the law.
Yeah.
So you can't lay with a man. You
Yeah.
can't lay with a woman. Just like it says that you can't tell the woman that she can't lay with a beast.
Oh, bestiality,
Bestiality, which a lot of women are going to be doing it right now through Halloween because of their sacrifices and their witchcraft.
They're spiritually doing it. They're sleeping with the beast. And I mentioned earlier that word beast in the Greek, it's Tyrion, which goes into a savage man, which goes into Esau, Edom. Okay, but again, another example too, I was watching the last episode of the documentary on Netflix of Jeffrey Dahmer, bro. In the last episode, he mentions when he's getting interviewed, he said that the first time he celebrated Halloween, he dressed up as the devil, bro. As the devil, the actual, devil with the two horns, the whole red. And he said he actually loved being the devil.
He is the devil.
I mean, he is the devil, but that's like the brother said, like that's spiritual, man. The house, that's how you know who Esau Edom is. That's how you identify who the devil is in these last days, man.
Oh, well, I'm still reading verse 12, where they, should I start from the beginning?
Yeah, where you were at, verse 13?
Yeah, verse 13. Oh, no, well, I haven't finished 12. For they say, the Lord see us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth.
Oh, matter of fact, hold that, get Jeremiah 23 and 29. It says what? The Lord sees not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jeremiah 23 and what?
And 29. But before we get that again, let me get Ezekiel 8 and 12. It says, every man in the chambers of his imagery, for they say, Yahawah seeth us not. The Lord has forsaken the earth. And that's the mindset of our people. They think that the Lord can't see. But guess what? Jeremiah 23, 29. It goes into, matter of fact, let me get it. It says, can any hide himself in secret places that I cannot see him? And also, matter of fact, in Proverbs, I think that's Proverbs 15, where it says that the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom.
Oh, yeah, no, I think I just had it ready.
23 and 24, bro. It's all good. It's not Jeremiah 23 and 29, it's Jeremiah 23.
The other one was Amos, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. That's Amos 9, verse 8.
Okay, I'll get Amos 9 and 8 and get Jeremiah 23 and 24.
is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 24. Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him?
Yep.
Say the Lord. Do not I feel heaven and earth?
Yeah.
Say the Lord.
Yeah, the Lord fills the heavens and the earth, so you can't escape the eyes of YAHAWASHI. Hey, even the prophets were the eyes of the Heavenly Father. Going into the book of Zephaniah or Zechariah, the 5th chapter, where it says that the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. But let me get that, bro, real quick to back you up. The precept was that Amos, you said 9 and 8?
Yeah.
Amos 9 and 8, it says, behold, the eyes of Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom. And what is the sinful kingdom? What is sin? First and foremost, 1 John 3 and 4. Okay, the sinful kingdom, which, you know, America, Babylon the Great, has broken over the 600, which is around 613 commandments of YAHAWASHI, plus they have broken every covenant, every treaty from their own people, because Esau Edom has signed over 200 treaties, and every single one of them he has broken, man.
Yep.
That's an example of sin. You're not supposed to break a covenant that you signed. Okay.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 4. 1 John chapter 3 verse 4.
We'll start at 3.
And every man that had this hope in him purify himself, even as he is pure.
Yep.
Whosoever committed sin transgressed also the law.
Yep. And we just read that in Psalms 119, 142. What is the law? The truth. Okay, go ahead, bro.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
What is sin again, bro?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law. Okay, so if you transgress the law, that goes into sin. But now we understand that we're in a grace period. But just because we're in a grace period, does that mean we didn't have to go sin? Romans 3 and 3 says, 3 and 31, it says, God forbid. Okay, it says we rehearse the righteous acts. Okay, we follow the laws to the best of our ability. But real quick, going back to Amos 9 and 8, it says, behold, the eyes of Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from the face of the earth. So the Lord said that he's going to destroy the sinful kingdom out of the face of the earth. He's actually going to make Babylon the Great, pursuant to Revelation, the 18th chapter. He's going to turn this place into a desolate place. Matter of fact, like 3 months ago, when I was with the brothers, we're heading to Plastic, Arizona. There's an actual spot in Arizona where you see the whole desert. You might see scorpions, you might see unclean fowls. That's how America is going to be generated. It's going to be created, okay, into a wicked abomination. And that's mocking, man. Mocking the Heavenly Father, man. That's scoffing. The Lord is going to have to destroy a lot of Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And she might be an Edomite.
Yeah, she looked like Esau.
She looked like Esau. She might be a Eve. But ultimately the Lord, okay, man's goings are the Lord. The Lord brought this woman up to scoff at the prophets. Matter of fact, when I get that's in Chronicles 18:18, where it says they have mocked the prophets, they have mocked the messengers of YAHAWASHI. Let's see if I can get it. It should be in Chronicles. It says they mocked the messengers. Hey, scopeo, bro, in the Greek. The Lord is scoping, okay, these scoffers and mockers, bro. Okay, the Lord said there's no respect, okay, of persons. I got you, bro. It's in 2 Chronicles 36:16.
36 and 16.
Yep. And that's the spirit, because earlier we were speaking about the woman, the wickedness of a woman. Okay, because ultimately all worship of idols, it goes back to a woman, bro. Okay? It tells you that in, I'll say, Rag, I think 2 and 24. The beginning of sin is through a woman, and through her we all die. Okay? So what's going to happen to those people that mock the prophets? Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 36, verse 16. But they mocked the messenger of God.
There you go. Like that woman, she mocked the messengers of YAHAWASHI.
Walking all good in front of the camera since we're live.
She walking all bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they mocked the messengers of God and despised his word.
So that, hey, especially Jay, because according to the law, the man has to be supposed to be over the woman. Okay, and if that was her woman, he's going up. He's actually sitting. So YAHAWASHI is gonna take him accountable. Okay.
And misuses his prophets.
And misuse their prophets.
Until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no more remedy.
So there's going to be no remedy, man, for those who mock the messengers of YAHAWASHI. When you go to that word messenger, that's where you get the word Alahayim, powers. Going back to Genesis, the 1st chapter, and the powers created the heavens and the earth. Okay, those terrestrial powers are actually the prophets as well. Okay, we're also messengers. We're also angels of YAHAWAH. We're ambassadors. Okay, doing our diligent search and our diligent duty to teach the nation of Israel, okay, the law and the testimony. You got something, bro? Get back to Amos. Let me get Amos real quick. Well, Proverbs, Lakia. Going real quick into Proverbs. The sinful kingdom, right? This is Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of Yahweh are in every place. So the Lord's eyes are in every single place. They're in every corner. Okay, every inch of the place, bro. Okay. We're again Zephaniah, bro. 5:1, BAHASHAM. Okay, because the eyes of the Lord again, it goes into the angels. There's actual chariots. Okay, in the heavens, you know, because the Apostle Paul spoke about the three levels of heavens. You got the actual heavens where you see the birds, the airplanes. The second heavens where you see the stars, the planets. And then you have the third heaven, which is where YAHAWASHI is at.
This is the precept I was looking for. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times should come.
Perilous times.
Perilous times should come.
Yeah, we are in those perilous times. Go ahead, bro.
For man should be lovers of their own selves.
Yeah, lovers of themselves, selfies. And that's the spirit of the woman. Selfies every damn day, bro.
Yeah. Covetous.
Covetousness. Yeah, covetous, which that means wanting or desiring other men's possessions.
Boasters, proud.
Proud, and that woman, she was proud.
Proud. She was like.
And that's a spirit, because Jay, he had his head down.
And also lovers of their own self. She saw the camera, so she started walking from the camera.
Yeah, that's a spirit, bro.
Yeah. Blasphemers, disobedient to their parents.
Yeah, and
unthankful.
And that's a spirit, because we are spiritual parents. Okay, we are the parents of you Israelites. Okay, on the right hand side, but it also goes into the physical sense. You have when you go into Sirach, it says that in the last days, okay, many women will bring out monstrous childs. Okay, being disobedient to their kids. Go ahead, bro.
Disobedience to parents.
And like the elder Rakah likes to call them GMO babies. Genetic modified organism babies, bro, because they have no honor, they have no integrity, and that's why they're known as Generation Z. Generation Z, that's the actual last generation before YAHAWASHI comes back. Okay, go ahead, bro. Want to keep reading the list on 2 Timothy, 1 Timothy?
Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection.
Yep.
Truce breakers.
Yep.
False accusers. Incontinent. Fears. Despisers of those that are good. Traitors.
And it says despisers of those that do good. Going back to the precept that we opened up with, was that Isaiah, the 5th chapter?
The chapter 20, verse on here. I'll bust it out.
Woe unto them that call bitter good, good evil. See that? So yeah, that goes back to Isaiah, the 5th chapter.
And
bro.
that was the first. That's the one we opened up to.
So hey, it's all spiritual. That's how you bring out the word. Okay, the scriptures speak about study to show yourself approved. Okay, and precept upon precept, whatever.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
I want to get real quick. Ephesians 5:11. And Ephesians 5 and 11. We can start at verse 10. And Ephesians, the 5th chapter, that's the chapter that gives you an examples of the difference between the spiritual man and the carnal man.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 10. Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord.
And this is acceptable to YAHAWASHI, going to the highways and hedges and prophesy the downfall of Esau, Edom, and 2/3 of people, primarily in Babylon the Great. Go ahead.
And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness.
And Halloween, that's an example of the unfruitful works of darkness, man. Ignorance. You want to hold that, get Isaiah 60. Okay, start at 1, 60 and 1. Where it says, behold, the earth is in complete darkness, darkness the people. 62.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth.
Yeah, the darkness shall cover the earth. And Halloween is an actual high holy day on the left-hand side that has covered the earth. Because again, it started in Europe, but now it has expanded all throughout the four winds of the earth. South Korea, okay, worships Halloween. Okay, Ireland, first and foremost. Okay, Babylon the Great. Latin America, everybody now in these last days, they celebrate this wicked holiday. Go ahead, bro. And when you go into that word darkness, that's where you get the word ignorance. And Apostle Paul said, if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. So if you want to be in darkness, hey, be in darkness, man.
Oh, that's great. Hold on, I got a good one that goes with that.
How about Bashaz? Those in Revelation. Revelation, the 22nd chapter.
This is the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still.
Yeah, if you have an Israelite that wants to be unjust, doesn't want to repent, hey, let him be. Go ahead.
And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still.
Yeah, he that is filthy, following the ways of Esau, Edom, hey, let him be filthy, man. And hey, the blood is on our hands, bro. According to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Go ahead.
And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still.
Yeah, and Lord's will, we are those men that we're righteous in the eyes of Yahawah, BAHASHAM. We pray Lord's will. Go ahead.
And he that is holy, let him be holy still.
Yeah, and that word holy goes into the words. That's where you get the actual word Halloween. Okay, because Esau likes to say, Halloween, but the real hollow people, that's the people of the Lord.
I'm going to keep going.
Go ahead,
15.
Yep.
Verse 12, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me.
Yeah, so our Savior come quickly. And you see that happening now, like examples of him, that he's on his way is happening on earth. Oh, hill breaking news, but right now you have famines.
Idaho, their water's in drought. I think there's another place that their rivers in drought.
Mississippi River,
Mississippi. Like different kind of COVID stuff coming out still.
Matter of fact, out there in I think that's around New York area, now they have 23 days of supplies left of diesel. Diesel gasoline. And that was going to happen. The gases are at a spirit war in front of a gas station. Okay, the price of the barrel, because a barrel is actually 42 gallons. And how much is a barrel right now? $150. But now that's going to double when there's a lack of was that petrol, diesel. Okay, it's going to go up to $300. So therefore, the gas prices, they're going to jump from $6 a gallon all the way to $10 a gallon, man. And that's prophecy.
It's a lot for that. It's going to be worse because it's going to be the semi-trucks that deliver the food. So if diesel is like that expensive, they're going to supercharge more for the food to be delivered to stores.
Yep. Yeah, that's like an example of famine. Hey, because a famine is not just a famine of food and water, but it's also a famine of semi-trucks. Okay, a famine of diesel. See that? Go ahead, bro.
Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work should be.
Yeah, and this is our example of the works. Okay, because according to the parable of YAHAWASHI, the parable of the penny, okay, we're all going to receive the same penny, which is an example or a metaphor of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, the works. Okay, YAHAWASHI spoke about. Okay, judge a man according to his works, according to his fruit. Because every tree will produce good fruit, but a wicked tree will not produce anything, man. So you got to be able to produce, fruit.
Well, hold on. That's a good precept that goes for that one. This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 14. For God should bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
And whether it be good or whether it be evil. So you're gonna get, when Yahawashi returns, every man will get judged according to his ways. So it's better to get judged for righteousness. Okay, we're not gonna get judged according to the law. Okay, because if you're condemned by the law, man, you're through. Okay, because we're justified by what? By grace. Go ahead, bro.
So go back to Revelation chapter 22, verse 12.
Yep.
And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be.
Yep.
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Ooh, it says, blessed are those who do his commandments. And according to YAHAWASHI, he said, go out to the highways and hedges. That's an example of a commandment. because Yahawashi, he's because you have a ranking system. You have like the captain, the lieutenant, and then you have the general, right? But the general that's the highest rank official, and that's ultimately that's Yahawashi. So if Yahawashi commanded brothers to go to the highest hedges, that's an example of doing his commandments. Go ahead.
There's one for the commandments. This is the book of 2 John, chapter 1, verse 6.
Yep.
And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it.
Yep.
So if it says that it is from the beginning, who was the person that got the commandments, statutes, laws, and commandments? That was the people of the house of Israel.
Yeah, and not only that, bro, but when you go into the scriptures, the book of Genesis, before we got the law written in stones
by him, by the finger.
We actually got it starting with Adam.
Oh,
Adam,
yeah.
our forefather, Yahawashi, when he gave wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter. Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Yahawah gave Adam the breath of life. I think that's the 27th chapter.
I don't think there's 27. There's only 19 chapters.
So I'll say Rag 27. That should be 17. Or you can start at Genesis. Get Genesis. Well, I'll get it real quick, and then let me get the other one. Just get Genesis. That should be oh yeah, Salakia. 2nd Ezra 3 and 5.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was reading it yesterday.
Spirit. Because the first living being, okay, which we had a lot of other nations besides Adam, but the Adamites, that's the people that received the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahawashi. Wisdom of Solomon 7:25 also. But real quick, I'll bring it out. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7:25. For she is the breath going into wisdom, and according to the law, wisdom is the laws, statutes, and commandments, Deuteronomy the 4th chapter. For she is the breath of the power of Yahawah, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. The point is that wisdom is the breath of the power of Yahawah, and Yahawah gave the breath of life to who? To Adam. 2nd Ezra 3 and 5.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 5. And gave us a body unto Adam without soul.
Yeah, and gave us a body unto Adam without soul. Go ahead.
Which was the workmanship of thy hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
And didst breathe into him the bread of life.
And breath unto him what, bro?
Bread of life.
And the breath of life is what? Is the commandments. Okay, the words of eternal life. Remember?
And he was made living before thee.
Yep.
And thou leddest him into paradise, which the right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forward.
Want to get Job 33 and 4? Just to give quick examples of the breath of life. The breath of life, that's an example of, okay, this truth. Okay, we also have the breath of life. We have the law and the testimony of Yahawah, Yahawashi, Job 33.
This is the book of 33?
33 and 4.
This is the book of Job, chapter 33, verse 4. The Spirit of God had made me.
Yeah, it says the Spirit of God has made me. Go ahead.
And the breath of the Almighty had given me life.
There you go. The breath of the Almighty has given me life. The Almighty is that word Almighty in the Hebrew is Alashatra, which means the King of Terrors, or very intelligent power. So Yahawashi has given not only Adam, okay, the breath of life, but the descendants of Adam, going into Seth, Enos. Matter of fact, I want to get Sirach, Sirach 44. Okay, the sons of God, the men of renown, the men that fell from the first estate. Well, guess what? We're back here on earth. We are those men of renown. Okay, we are those men that fell from our first estate. We fell from our power. But now through the mercy of Yahawashi, He has given us the power, okay, to go back to Him. I'm gonna start at 1. Yep.
Okay, this is the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44, verse 1.
Yep.
Let us now praise famous men.
Yeah, you go into that word famous, that's where you get the word Shem. Because our forefather Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And those who came out of Shem was who? Seth, Enos, Peleg, onto Abraham.
And then Abraham it was Ishmael, and then from Ishmael Isaac, and then Isaac had Esau and Jacob.
Esau and Jacob, and then through Jacob, according to the promise, that's what the YAHAWASHI was going to deal with. Okay, bro?
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44, verse 1. Let us now praise famous man and our fathers that beget us. The Lord has brought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning.
His great power from the beginning. And that word beginning, that's where we get the word Genesis. Okay, and the beginning of Genesis, that's where you get the creation of the first living being, which was Adam, the one that received the laws, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
Such as did bear rule in their kingdom, man re-owned for their own power, for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecies.
And declaring what?
Prophecies.
And aren't we declaring prophecies? Go ahead. So we are those men back, in the modern times. Go ahead, bro.
Leaders of the people by their counsel and by their knowledge.
It says leaders of the people by their counsel and according to the law, according to the Torah. I think that's in Numbers 27. It says, set up a man for the congregation of Israel to be a leader of your people.
Well, yeah, Moses was judging everybody, and then his father-in-law told him, hey, that's a heavy burden. Why don't you set up man that fear God and hate evil and hate covetousness to rule over them?
Exodus 18. You want to bring it out? Yeah, I think it's Exodus 18, bro. Yeah, as a spirit. You see that? So, hey, that's another example of the Lord putting men on top, okay, of the nations. And not just any man, but an Israelite man, which is a prophet. It should be Exodus 18, bro. Exodus 18.
This is the book of Exodus 18, verse 13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest it to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning unto evening. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. So pretty much teaching them.
What verse are you on, bro?
Verse 16.
Okay, get to the point, Baba Kasha. Verse 21.
Okay. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 18, verse 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able man. Able man.
Oh, able man, which goes into noble. Go ahead.
Such as fear God.
Yo, so you gotta fear Yahweh to be an able man, a noble man. Go ahead.
Man of truth.
Man of what?
Man of truth.
Oh, man of wickedness.
Man of truth.
Man of truth. Okay, so you gotta be a man of truth to be part of the leaders of Israel. Go ahead.
Hating covetousness.
Hating covetousness. Go ahead.
And place such over them.
Yep.
And to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s.
That's where you get your captains, your lieutenants, your generals. Go ahead.
And let them judge the people.
And let them do what?
And let them judge the people.
Well, you can't judge me, bro.
And let them judge the people.
And let them judge the people. So this worldly world, this wicked world tells you not to judge. But according to the scriptures, is what? Let them judge the people. Going to that word judge, it simply means to examine. You examine a person whether they're in the truth or not. Okay, rebuking them, reproving them to go back to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, bro.
At all seasons, and it shall be.
At all what, bro?
At all seasons.
No, only winter season, bro.
At all seasons.
At all seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall. Go ahead.
And let it be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they should judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Yeah, it's like the brother mentioned. Brother Nakar mentioned how Moses had a huge burden, bro. Yeah. How are you gonna deal with millions of Israelites, bro? Everybody has their own matter, and you're gonna bug out. That's why even Moses, I think there's a scripture that goes into Moses wanted to commit suicide, bro.
Yeah, he was already tired of Israel being rebellious.
It's too fucking much, bro.
And also at the same time, like seeing how they were being rebellious and breaking the commandments of God. Yeah. Even God said, hey, I'm going to kill all of them and I'm going to start a nation out of you.
Yeah, damn.
But then Moses, he just loved Israel a lot too, that he
actually
enticed Yahawah and like, hey, don't do it, because if you do it, then all these other nations are going to be like, so you took them out of Egypt and you're going to kill them in the wilderness.
Yep. Yeah, that's facts, man. But again, going back to the promise of the Heavenly Father, he said that he's not going to wipe out the whole seed of Israel. He's only going to leave a small remnant. Going back to Exodus.
You want to
oh no, go ahead. You want to get that? Okay. But just the point that the brother brought out, going into how Moses had a great burden, But we just brought out the scripture that since Moses had a great burden, he actually put out, leaders of the people to judge the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44. Which one do you want to start from?
You started, you were down on 4. Yep.
Yeah. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44, verse 4.
Yep.
Leaders of the people by their counsel and by their knowledge of learning meet for the people, wise and eloquent in their instruction.
Wise and eloquent. So you gotta be eloquent in your speech, like to speak about the season in your speech, which goes into studying the scriptures. So in order for a leader to be eloquent in speech, he has to actually study the Greek, the Latin, the Hebrew, or various languages to teach the nation of Israel in these last days.
But also how to come up to the brother and talk to him, because a lot of brothers could listen to them in a different way. Like, you gotta come to the right tone. You can't be like straight out like a line towards a brother.
Yeah, the scriptures speak about be not a lion in thy house. Okay, and that house goes into the house of Israel. You gotta come as Yahawashi came. Yahawashi came with compassion. He came. Matter of fact, Yahawashi, he sat down with harlots and taxpayers, bro. They were like the lowest jobs, the most dangerous jobs, most wicked jobs. But Yahawashi still had compassion to his people. That's how you have to teach the nation of Israel. You can't be like it says right, like a lion in thy house. Whatever.
Verse 5, such as found out musical tones and recite verses and writing.
Yeah, because right now what we're reading, they're actual spiritual lyrics. We're reading the lyrics out of a song, out of an album. Go ahead, bro.
Rich man furnished with ability, living peacefully and their habitation.
Yeah, living peacefully. The scriptures speak about being at peace with all men. Go ahead.
All these were honored in their generations and were the glory of their times.
Yep.
There be of them that have left the name behind them, that their praise might be reported.
Yeah, for example, the prophets that Elisha hit, I believe there was around 70 prophets. Okay, and other prophets that the scriptures don't mention about, but hey, those prophets that they weren't mentioned in the scriptures, they're gonna have their own book in the kingdom of heaven, bro. Okay, and that's what you see in the highways and hedges throughout Babylon the Great and throughout the four winds of the earth. Go ahead, bro.
And some there be which have no memorial,
Yep.
who are perished as though they have never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them.
Yep.
But these were merciful men whose righteousness had not been forgotten. With their seed shall continually remain a good inheritance, and their children are within the covenant.
Hey, it says their children are with the covenant. Go ahead.
Their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall not be blotted out. Their body are buried in peace, but their name liveth forevermore. The people will tell of their wisdom, and the congregation will show forth their praise. Enoch pleased the Lord and was translated being an example of repentance to all generations.
Enoch, our forefather, when you go into Jude, the first chapter, even Enoch prophesied about the return of Yahawashi. He said that Yahawashi cometh with 10,000 of his saints. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Noah was found perfect in righteousness. In the time of wrath, he was taken exchange for the world.
Yep, and we're coming in the same spirit as our forefather Enoch and our forefather Noah, which Noah means comfort. That's where you get the word Holy Spirit. Yahawashi said in John 14:26, I will give you a comfort, okay, that will give you peace. Go ahead.
Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came.
I'll read that one more time, Baba Kosha, bro, slowly.
Noah was found perfect in righteousness,
Okay.
righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth.
It says he shall be left as a remnant unto the earth, right? Isaiah 10:20, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnants of Israel, as such are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel in truth. The remnants shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. So there you go again. There's an actual remnant that's here primarily in Babylon the Great that the Lord's going to save. And those who are not part of that remnant, well, guess what? The Lord's going to destroy them. Okay, bro?
When the flood came.
Oh, when the flood came. Now the modern day flood is going to happen in the form of what? Nuclear destruction, known as the second death.
When Yahawashi comes back.
When Yahawashi comes back.
He comes with his angels.
Yep.
The sky praise.
Matter of fact, I'm going to bring that out. But keep going, bro.
An everlasting covenant was made with him, that all flesh should perish no more by the flood.
Yeah, which is a covenant, or what they call today the rainbow the rainbow, which that's what you see when the covenant of Yahweh Bahasham that he ain't gonna destroy
the earth by water.
By water, but he never made the promise that he ain't gonna destroy with fire.
Yeah.
See that?
But then again, Esau grabbed there to be pride.
Yeah.
for
the LGBTQ XYZ. See that? Go ahead, bro.
Abraham was a great father of many people, and glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High.
Wait, who kept the what?
Who kept the law of the Most High.
So even Abraham kept the law of the Most High. Yahawah, go ahead.
And was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful.
And that's the spirit, because even before Abraham got circumcised, according to the law, when an Israelite is born, on the 8th day you're supposed to get circumcised. But guess what? Abraham received the promises even before he got circumcised, bro. Go ahead.
And also he showed his faith because he was gonna sacrifice his son.
Isaac, yeah.
Yeah, and then the angel stopped him to see, how much faith he had with the Most High.
And that's why Yahawah Bahasham told Abraham that he was going to be a father of multitude, many nations, and from his promised seed line, that's the people that are going to have the greater faith. Go ahead, bro.
Therefore, he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed.
Yep.
And that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth.
Yep, as the dust of the earth. And that's a promise that Yahweh Bahasham gave the nation of Israel. He said that Israel will be as the sands of the sea, that you can't number. Because Esau tried to number Israel with his census, but you can't number the nation of Israel. We're millions upon millions and billions. Yep.
And exalted his seed as the stars, and caused them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the uttermost part of the land. What Isaac did, he established likewise, for Abraham his father's sake, the blessing of all men and the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob.
Jacob, that's our forefather. Go ahead.
He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him a heritage, and divided his portion among the 12 tribes. Among the 12 tribes did he part them.
So even in the Apocrypha, it gives you the genealogy of the sons of God from Enoch down to Noah, down to Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob, and then who? The 12 tribes. See? So that's how you prove that even the Apocrypha, it's actually validated. It's validated as actually the word of Yahweh Bahasham. But real quick, because earlier you mentioned how Yahweh is going to come with his angels to prove the brother's statement. Matthew 24 and 30. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Men in heaven. You want to get Revelation 1 and 7? And Jude 1 and 7 too? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. Yeah, you go into that word cloud in the Hebrew, it goes into rakab, which actually goes into actual spaceships, man. I believe about a year ago, NASA actually had a live stream of thousands of chariots, coming into the terrestrial plane, man. See that? And one of those chariots was a fathership, and that fathership we believe in through faith. That's the fathership of Yahweh Bahasham, man. The one that you see in that movie, Independence Day with Will Smith. That's a great example of a fathership, not a mothership, because Yahweh Bahasham ain't no woman. He's an actual man of war. Exodus 15:3. See, that fathership's gonna be like even Ezra saw the vision of Yahawashai's chariot. He said that it was like unto a mountain that had no end and no beginning, man. That's how big the chariot is gonna look like. It's gonna make the earth tremble. So going back to Matthew 24 and 30, it says, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels, the messengers, the angels, with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, right? It says that the Lord's going to gather his elect. He ain't going to gather all Israel like he did during the time of Exodus, but now he's going to gather only his elect, man. That remnant that we read in Zechariah 44 and Isaiah the 10th chapter. It says, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven even to the other, which is from the eastern hemisphere all the way to the western hemisphere.
Revelation. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7.
Yep.
Behold, he come with clouds.
It says, behold, he cometh with clouds. Okay, those clouds are a metaphor, an example, symbolism, okay, of the so-called UFOs, the spaceships. Go ahead.
And every eye shall see him.
Every eye shall see him. Going back to Matthew 24, that even all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. Go ahead.
And they shall also which pierce him.
Even they who pierce him. And who are they who pierce him? And those Roman centurions, man. That was actually a prophecy too. When we get Psalms, the 22nd chapter. Okay, those Roman centurions. Well, guess what? Hey, they're back here. Okay, in the reincarnation, man. Okay, regeneration is real. Those Roman centurions that pierce our Lord and Savior YAHAWASHI, hey, they're still alive. Okay, for the day of judgment. I think that's Psalms 22 and 23, where it says
22 and 16.
Yep.
The book of Psalms, chapter 22, verse 16. For dogs have compassed me.
Yeah, dogs have compassed me, and a dog is a clean animal. And that's what YAHAWASHI called those Roman centurions, those dogs. Go ahead.
The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me.
It says the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom, Job 9:24, Malachi 1 and 4. Go ahead.
They pierce my hands and my feet.
They pierce my hands and my feet, because ultimately, and first and foremost, the ones that actually crucified YAHAWASHI, it was our own people, bro. Okay, but even under 2/3 of our people, okay, you had those Roman centurions, which are Edomites, who took part of the death of YAHAWASHI, pursuant to Psalms, the 22nd chapter. Okay, they pierced his hands, okay, and his feet. Well, if we paraphrase it, go ahead, bro. And they even casted lots. Psalms 22 again.
The book of
oh yeah, you want to get it's a lot of Revelation.
told me to
Hey,
Psalms I was done.
water.
So I'll about that. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they shall also which pierce him,
And they also which pierce him.
and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
And we just read that in the gospel, that all tribes, all kindreds are going to mourn at the return of YAHAWASHI. And even the prophets, man, even the elect, we're going to cry not for misery, but we're going to cry for joy. Joy that YAHAWASHI is back, and this kingdom is about to get destroyed. We're going to get Jude, I think that was 1 and 7, to back up Revelation 1 and 7.
This is the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah. And
where it says that Enoch prophesied.
okay, this is the 14. This is the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 14.
Yep.
And Enoch also, the 7 from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints.
Yep, 10,000 of his saints. Go ahead.
To execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them.
And why is that? Hey, because they're celebrating the wicked holidays, bro. They're eating abominable foods, catfish, pork, shrimp, oysters, lobster. Okay, these are unclean animals that put a demon on your spirit, bro. Go ahead.
And to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and
Yep.
all their harsh speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Yep.
These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lust,
Walking after their own lust, after their own covetousness. Go ahead.
and their mouth speaking great swelling words, having man's person in admiration.
Want to get to the point in Sodom and Gomorrah?
Well, that would be 7.
Okay, come.
Okay. It's the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication,
Yep.
and going after strange flesh.
That goes into the whole LGBT. Matter of fact, we have one here in San Diego. It's called the Hillcrest. We have a major one too out there in San Francisco. It's called the Costume, man.
Well, over there in New York, they have, I think after Halloween, they have a festival when men, gay men dress as women, and they have a little festival in New York.
Damn.
After Halloween.
Times Square?
Yeah.
Times Square? Yeah.
And then a lot of them talk about, oh yeah, I just came out of the closet and this and that, came out during this day.
And that's when the demons come out. Okay, around the fall season. Go ahead, bro.
And going after strange flesh are set forth for an example,
Yep.
suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Ooh, eternal fire. And that eternal fire that goes into those missiles. If you want to go into the missiles, Isaiah 54, and you go on 16, Isaiah 54, 16. Probably bring one out here in second Ezra. Yeah, that eternal fire, man, that goes into the second death, just like YAHAWASHI destroyed the earth with water, because water and fire, they're both cleansing agents. Okay, but now YAHAWASHI is going to use what? Fire. Luke, the 12th chapter, says, "Think not that I came to bring peace on earth, but I came to bring fire and a sword." Was that Isaiah 54 and
16?
16, yeah.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 16.
Yeah.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire.
Yeah, I have created the smith, and that's the spirit, because you ever seen the movie Matrix? You have you have demons, they're known as the Smiths, okay, or Mr. Smith. And there's an actual scene on the movie Matrix. There's Mr. Smith driving a BMW with a 4-door, and in his license plate it says Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith, okay, because the ancient smith, their duties or their job, their responsibility was to create what, like swords, axe, okay, weapons of war. Go ahead, bro.
Behold, I have created the smith.
Now the modern day smith, it starts with who? It starts with Esau, Edom, primarily with their chief tribe, Amalek, on down to Timan, those Germans. And when you actually study the history of the Germans, okay, they were the first ones that created the atomic bombs. Okay, matter of fact, one of the first Germans, the first Timanites that created the nuclear bomb, his name goes by the name of Abraham Esau. Okay, go into the history, Abraham Esau. He's an example of a smith, the modern day smith. Timans, okay, and Amalek first and foremost. Okay, bro.
That bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Yeah, and that instrument, okay, because you have modern day instruments like what, like music instruments, the guitar, piano, cello, the violin, but the actual instrument that the prophecy is speaking about, those are those nuclear weapons, man, known as the ICBM missiles, which is an acronym for intercontinental ballistic missiles. And when you go into, there's an actual source known as the RT News, which means Russian Times Today. From now on, you're going to start seeing articles about nuclear weapons. Russia testing their nuclear bombs. Okay, Iraq, Iran, North Korea testing their ICBM missiles. Okay, because now is the time of war. Now is the time of war. Pursuant to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Wake up the mighty man. Tell the heathen, I am strong. Roughly paraphrasing. We're going back to Isaiah 54.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
Yeah, the waster to destroy, because the instrument starts with the shilohs. Those shilohs are the actual, kind of like you have a bow and arrow. Yeah. You got your bow, which that's a shiloh. That's what holds the nuclear weapons. And then you have your arrow, which you want to get 2nd Ezra 13. Okay, the shilohs and those nuclear weapons, because before in the ancient times, when our forefathers saw the prophecies, okay, the best way to describe the nuclear weapons was what? Was an arrow. I think that's 2nd Ezra, where it goes into how the arrows shoot it from the ends of the earth and shall not return. So I can find it around 13 and 1. Start at 13.
I think this is when they're getting all together to go to war again, and then YAHAWASHI comes back.
2nd Ezra 13 chapter?
Yeah, it's just like, the man waxed strong with thousands of heaven, and when he turned his conscience to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth. So this is what YAHAWASHI.
You gotta try, I think it's 9. Try 9 Baba Bashar, bro. Real quick. But I'll find it in a second. This is 2nd Ezra. Well, you start at 1, verse 1. Where it says, measure the time spiritually.
Oh, yeah, there. Here you go.
Got it?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently, and itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Yeah. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Yeah, as a spirit too, earthquakes. I remember last week I was actually prophesying about earthquakes pursuant to Isaiah 296. And that same day there was an earthquake from San Jose on down to San Diego, bro. A lot of our people felt that earthquake, bro. So that's how the Lord's on his way. The earthquakes, okay, volcano eruptions. Go ahead.
Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Even from the beginning. Go ahead.
For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Yeah, the end is manifest.
Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginning in wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils.
Yeah, those said pearls are those nuclear weapons. When you get second Ezra 16, bro, that's what goes into the arrows. That ultimate pearl, that ultimate destruction, hey, those are those nuclear weapons, bro, that are gonna come from the east on down to the west.
Got it. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, a nation.
Yeah, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Go ahead.
Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Yup, the modern day Egypt, the modern day Syria. That's speaking about America, Babylon. Go ahead.
Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
The destruction of Edom is at hand, man. The destruction of this wicked empire is at hand. Go ahead.
A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?
Yeah, a sword is sent upon you, and who will turn it back? Go ahead.
A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?
Yep, go ahead.
Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
Yep.
May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood?
And who's that lion? That lion that goes into YAHAWASHI. He's the lion of the tribe of Judah. Okay, and YAHAWASHI, he's hungry. He's hungry for what? For vengeance. Go ahead.
Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it have begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is that is shot of the strong archer.
Yep.
That's the one that you're talking
Well,
about.
you're going 13 down to 16.
Oh, you want me to go from 13?
Yeah, 16.
This is the verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
And who's the right hand of YAHAWASHI? You can read in the book of Acts. It tells you that when YAHAWASHI ascended to the heavens, he sat on the right side of Yahweh. So the right side of Yahweh is YAHAWASHI. And YAHAWASHI is the one that's going to bring, okay, those nuclear destruction. Go ahead.
His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
The ends of the earth. That goes into what? Nuclear holocaust. That's bro, because
All the countries.
because as a spirit too, bro, how are you gonna get an actual physical bone in an arrow? Might go from here maybe to like a mile away, but it ain't gonna reach from one end of the earth to the other. That's how you know that it's going to what? Those nuclear weapons. It ain't speaking about a literal bone and arrow. That's speaking about the modern day bone and arrow, which goes into the technology of Esau, which are these nuclear weapons, man. On down to 15 and 16.
Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
Yeah, what are examples of plagues? So the pandemic, that's a big. Earthquakes, diseases like cancer, diabetes. I was looking at an article last year. I read
Nations right now, those are plagues.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't have jobs because they haven't taken the
jab.
vaccine, the jab.
The jab, yeah.
And the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consumes the foundation of the earth.
Yeah, and that fire, it all starts with the prophets. Want to get Hosea? What you got right there, bro?
Well, I was gonna go for the what's it called, the sword.
I think that's in Ezekiel, the sword is sharpened.
Or no, for YAHAWASHI is gonna come here to the judgment to Israel.
My sword is back in heaven.
The day of vengeance.
Oh yeah, come.
Isaiah, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom?
Yep. Who is this that cometh from Edom?
With thy garment from Bozrah.
Yep.
That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garment like him that threaded in the wine like him that threaded in the wine fat. I have throttled the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will thread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is mine, is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is come.
Yep.
And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. I will tread down the people in my anger, and make them drunk in my fury.
Yeah, so ultimately when when I get Isaiah 9 and 5, when Yahawashi returns, man, even Yahawashi is going to get busy, man. He's going to get busy slaying the wicked and 2/3 of our people.
It's the book of
Isaiah 9 and 5, which that back up we just read in Isaiah was at 63, 64. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed here in Babylon the Great.
This is the book of Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. Matter of fact, when you go into that word war, when you go into the etymology of the word war, it actually goes into confusion. So the Lord, he's a power of. When you go into Corinthians, it says that the Lord is not the author of confusion. Okay, based upon when you study the scriptures, but on the left-hand side, he's a power of confusing the nations. Okay, which goes into war. Go ahead.
And garments rolled in blood.
Yeah, and garments rolled in blood. So the real Halloween is gonna come when Yahawashi comes back, the real king of terrors, bro. He's gonna put terror in a lot of our people. Go ahead.
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
And this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, bro. See, and that fire starts with the prophets. When again, Hosea 6 and 5. Okay, the fire is a spiritual fire first and foremost, but that's gonna turn into a literal fire. Because everything starts in the spiritual realm before it emerges in the physical form. Okay, the prophets, we are like the fire also of YAHAWASHI.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 5.
Yep.
Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets.
Yep.
I have slain them by the words of my mouth.
Yep.
And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
Yep. In Jeremiah 23 and 29. Okay, I have healed them by the prophets. I have slayed them by the words of my mouth. The mouthpiece of YAHAWASHI as an example of a weapon. Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 29. It's not my word like as fire.
It's not my word like as fire. So the words of YAHAWASHI, they're like unto fire, bro.
Say the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces.
Yeah, that word hammer, that's where you get the word Maccabees. In the Apocrypha, you have the book of Maccabees. That word Maccabee in the Hebrew is Maccab, which means a hammer. So the modern day of Maccabees is the prophets of YAHAWASHI, okay, hammering down the kingdom of Esau Edom.
And that's crazy because that's how the angel of the Lord was speaking to Moses. You can read in the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus chapter 3, verse 2. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire.
Ooh, that's heavy, bro.
Out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
Yeah, that's great power, bro. Having for example, you might see a bush right now burning. Matter of fact, there was a fire out there in Oregon, state of Oregon. You got fires here in California, but that's how you know YAHAWASHI controls all things. How can you have a bush, okay, and burning on fire, but not collapsing, not turning into so-called ashes? And that's the power of the Lord. The Lord deals with the elements. He deals with the water, fire, and air. Okay, earth. Ultimately, the periodic table. Because again, look in the 12th chapter, it goes into Yahawashi coming to bring fire. What can I have if it already be kindled? See, the fire of Yahawashi was destroying this kingdom. Want to get Jeremiah? For our Lord is a consuming fire.
Yeah, isn't that like Hebrews?
I think that's around Hebrews. I think it's on the 7th chapter. I haven't read that in a long time. Yeah, but it goes into that. Okay, our Lord is a consuming fire. He actually consumes. Okay, the heathen. Okay, with the prophets. Matter of fact, I'll get it for you, bro.
I was reading about it yesterday too.
Real quick, there's a book of Hebrews 12:29. Yeah. And Exodus 24 and 16. Just to back that up.
Yeah. There you had it right.
Oh yeah, I can.
There's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 29.
And it says the book of Hebrews. Okay, who are those Hebrews? The letter of Apostle Paul, he wrote to the Hebrew Israelites. Okay.
For our God is a consuming fire.
Yeah, for our power, he's a consuming fire.
And which was the one that you wanted?
Exodus 24 and 16, to back that up.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Apostle Paul referencing, okay, or quoting the law. Okay, because Apostle Paul always said, as it is written, that goes into what thus saith the Lord. That's how you know the so-called New Testament goes hand in hand with the Old Testament.
There you go. I'll start from 15, all right?
Kinda
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 15. And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount.
Yeah, and that cloud was an actual chariot. Go ahead.
And
So-called UFO. Go ahead, bro.
And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai. And the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and got him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah, which 40 days and 40 nights, that in numerology terms, 40 is the period of trial. Another example of 40 is when YAHAWASHI was tempted in the wilderness by Shaitan for 40 days and 40 nights. 40 again is a number that represents a period of trials. Okay, a period of tribulation. What you got, bro?
I'm looking for that one, the one that goes with that one too.
40 days?
No, about the fire too.
I think it was in 16.
It's in 19.
Exodus. Let me see. Exodus.
Oh, there you go. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 18. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it as fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace. And the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. So another example of how the Lord uses the element of fire to speak to his people, but not only to speak to his people, but to cause what? To cause destruction. So another example, let me get a different precept. Want to get Luke 3 and 16?
3 and 16.
Yeah, because this truth is also like unto fire. It's a cleansing agent. Okay, Psalms 119 and 9.
3 and 16, right? You said?
Yeah, how shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to the word. The word is like unto fire.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 3, verse 16. John answered, saying unto them all, I indeed baptize you with water.
Yeah, because John the Baptist, he came out of what? He came out of the tribe of Levi. Okay, he was an example, okay, of the baptism of water, actual physical water, to transition it to that spiritual fire. Go ahead.
But one mightier than I cometh.
Who is YAHAWASHI that cleanses you with what?
The latchet of whose shoes I am not worthy to unloose.
Go ahead.
He shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire.
he shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire, bro. Which fire is this word, which is read in Jeremiah 23 and 29. It's not my words like unto fire, okay, and like a hammer that breaketh the rocks in pieces. So this truth is fire that is either going to destroy you or cleanse you. Want to get Zechariah, the 12th chapter?
Yeah. When
it goes into 2/3 and the 1/3.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
That's another example of this. Because it's better to be burned by the spiritual fire than be burned from a physical fire, bro. See, and we pray we are part of that spiritual fire that's going to cleanse us.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord.
Yeah, and that land, bro, that's speaking about primarily the land of Babylon the Great. Go ahead.
2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Yeah, 2 parts. When you go into percentage, that's what? 66.6%. Okay, 2/3 of our people here in Babylon, they're all gonna die, bro. Go ahead.
But the third shall be left therein.
Yeah, the 1/3, which is that remnant starting here in America. Go ahead.
And I will bring the third part through the fire.
So we're going through that fire. Hold that. Get Job 23 and 10. So we're going through the fire of adversity, bro. Because the only way to, go into the kingdom pursuing to prophecy is to go through much tribulation.
This is the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10. But he knoweth the way that I take.
Yep.
When he had tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
And how is gold purified? With what element, bro?
With fire.
With fire. That's how you purify gold.
Isn't that also in Ecclesiasticus?
Oh, okay. Sirach, bring it out. Sirach, the 2nd chapter. Okay, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. I think that's also in James, bro. Let's see if we get that.
Oh, here. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2.
Yep.
Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity.
Yeah, so hey, we're striving to be pure gold, because you have different kinds of gold, where you have 14K gold, you have 24K, but the purest gold, they call it 0.999 gold. Okay, that's the purest of gold. And how do you know when gold is purified? You can see your own reflection.
Wasn't there one about the potter and that's which one it was?
Refined?
Refined, yes.
That's in Isaiah, bro.
Yeah, let me say what.
Isaiah, gold refined. Give me a second, bro.
Oh, I'll finish the Zechariah one.
You can also get Isaiah 48 and 10 and Isaiah 13 and 12. Oh, the Zechariah one you want to...
Yeah, let me finish it. It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them.
Lord's will, that's us. Okay, us brothers and sisters. Okay, and the children, we're going to go through that spiritual fire of adversity, which goes into what? The bitter persecution. Okay, being demonized, being mocked at. Okay, that's an example of going through the fire. Go ahead, bro.
I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They should call on my name.
And they should call on my what?
On my name.
So the name is very important. When you go into the letters of Apostle Paul, it says,
he that God in the highest.
He that speaketh, his name is Yahawah, right? He that speaketh the name of the Lord shall be saved. Okay, which is Yahawah BAHASHAM. That's his real name.
I think that's also in Malachi too.
Oh, Malachi?
Yeah.
Again, that's prophecy calling upon the name of Yahawah BAHASHAM. Also in Proverbs, the 18th chapter, he that calleth upon the name will be hidden in that tower, roughly paraphrasing.
All right, I'm gonna finish this one.
Okay.
And I will bring them the third, Zechariah chapter 13 verse 9. And I will bring them the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They should call my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they should say, the Lord is my God.
Yeah, the Lord is my power. Okay, because the only way for us brothers to be purified, and be turned into gold, we gotta call upon the power, and our power is gonna provide what? The proper wisdom, the proper guidance, to make us pure. Isaiah 48 and 10.
Isaiah 48 and 10, you said?
Yep. And also Isaiah 13 and 12. 48 and 10 and 13 and 12.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
There you go. So, going through adversity means going through affliction. Want to get James?
Do you want me to still do
Isaiah 13 and 10?
13. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations therefore shall not give their light.
12?
12, okay,
Yeah.
12. Wait, there's no 10.
Isaiah 13 and 12?
Oh, 13.
Yeah,
Oh, my bad. This is Salah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
And that's what the Lord is doing to the prophets first and foremost. He's purifying us by first and foremost going to the highways and hedges, reading, getting rebuked, getting exhorted. Okay, just growing in the truth. Go ahead.
Even a man than the gold wedge of here.
Yeah, Ophir. Ophir, that's the purest gold. And the purest gold, we can actually find it out there in the east. And that's how the Lord's He's gonna purify us better than the finest gold of Ophir. See, we're gonna be more precious than every single element that Esau desires. Ruby, sapphire, diamonds. Hey, how are diamonds created? Through pressure. See? So in order for brothers to become better, to be turned into gods, to be turned into prototypes of YAHAWASHI, we got to go through a lot of pressure. We got to go through a lot of fire of adversity. When we get Acts 14 and 22, which goes into that, going through tribulation, shall we go or enter into the kingdom of the Heavenly Father.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 14, verse 22.
Yep.
Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith.
Yeah, so in order for a brother to become better than gold is to continue in the faith. What is faith? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Go ahead.
And that we must through much tribulation.
And that we must, okay?
Much. Oh,
much.
we must.
Through must. I'm just going, through much and much tribulation shall we answer. Go ahead.
And that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God.
There you go. So the only way to enter into the kingdom of YAHAWAH, Shemetic, spoke to that straight YAHAWASHI spoke about.
And second entrance.
Well, 1 minute at a time.
Yeah, one person.
Want to bring it out? That's another example. That's another example of how brothers are gonna enter into the kingdom. Okay, going through that straight gate. Okay, the very tight, space. Okay, one by one.
The second entrance.
I think that's two. Second entrance 2. Oh yeah, I feel you.
Talk about how he made the earth for us and how come he hasn't given it to us and stuff.
Oh, you're right, bro. Second Ezra 7. 7 and 8. Or you can start in the I think it's around 5. Oh, 7. Yeah, 7. You're right. So that's how you get purified. You get purified through the furnace of affliction, through pressure. Okay, through going through trials and tribulations.
Okay, this is the book of, I'm going to start from 7. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and it is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Yep.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
Yep, and that goes into what Paul said: work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay, working out your own relationship between you and YAHAWAH Shemetic.
And then 9,
Yep.
when it talks about tribulation, it says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance?
So this is not an easy walk. You got actually go through the fire, of affliction in order to receive the kingdom. See that? Because if we were to receive the kingdom 1,000 years ago, we weren't gonna cherish the kingdom. We weren't gonna be grateful for it. You gotta go through hell, bro. Hey, they say in the world the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory.
Yeah, it's like saying everything got an easy. You don't care about it because it was easily given. It was something that you work hard, you put the time, and you put tears and blood and sweat. You cherish it so much.
That's facts. And you don't want to lose it because
you don't want to listen because you work so hard for it. But something that's given it for free, you're like, it's whatever.
It's like whatever's.
But if you work hard for something that you want, and you love it, you're like, it's just precious to you that you don't want no one else to touch it. It's mine.
Yeah. And that's what YAHAWAH Shemetic did. He worked so hard to make his people, his inheritance. Okay. I want to back you up on that, bro.
Yeah.
This is James 5 and 10. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. And this truth is a race of endurance. It's an actual marathon. When you run a half marathon or even a 5K. A 5K, you need endurance. You need speed and endurance. And in a race like the 5K, you need to have even tactics, being able to surge at certain scenarios of the race. If you don't go all out in a 5K race, you're going to die out. In the first 100, 200 meters, you're going to get something known as lactic acid, and you're not going to finish the race. That's why this is known as an endurance race. Okay, James 5 and 10, it says, behold, we count them happy which endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, and what happened to our forefather Job, which Job means persecuted or hated. Okay, Job had a thorns in the flesh. He had boils. His woman left him. He lost his kids and his family.
He lost everything, but then he got everything sevenfold.
Because he endured.
He endured, and then his daughters were the more beautiful ones from all the places where he lived.
Kind of in the land of Luz. It says Job 5 and 11. It says, you have heard of the patience of Job. and have seen the end of the Lord. If we want to get that, Job, the last chapter, it says, behold, we count them happy which endure. So if you endure, Yahawashi said, what? He that endureth until the end shall be saved. The end of what? The end of Esau's demonic ass kingdom. It says, you have heard of the patience of Job and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. And that goes into the book of Samuel, where it says, the Lord giveth and taketh away. So the reason why the Lord takes away certain, possessions from an Israelite is so you can get it double fold, okay, in the future for your own benefit. Okay, but you still gotta trust Yahawah or Yahawashi. Or since you mentioned how Job received twofold.
Yeah, I got it right. This is the book of Job, chapter 42, verse 12. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. For he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of ox, and 1,000 she-asses.
Okay, so real quick, when you actually study the possessions of Job, bro, a sheep back in those days, back then we had shekels, kind of like gold. But a sheep in the ancient times, you compare it to the modern times, the sheep is worth like $2,000, bro. They said he had 14,000 sheep. You do the math, 14,000 times 2K, and then plus whatever else he had in his farms. He had a lot of possessions. He had acres, so he was an actual billionaire, bro. Okay, go ahead, bro.
He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he called the name of the first Jemimah, and the name of the second Kesiah, and the name of the third Keren Hapuk. And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their fathers gave them inheritance among their brethren.
Want to get Judith 10:19?
Hold up, I had another one. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shiver, even as I receive of my Father.
I want to get Psalms 149 as a spirit too, because brothers that endure unto the end, the Lord is going to bless brothers with the inheritance of receiving possessions like the heathen. And even according to the law, when you conquer a nation, okay, you also take their spoils, their gold, their silver. Not only that, but you take their women, and those women are turned into concubines.
Here, before I go to the one, I got another one. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 8. Ask of me, and I should give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
So everything's going to belong to brothers that endure unto the end.
Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron.
That goes back to Revelation.
Yeah, Revelations.
That's the spirit, bro.
Thou shalt dash them in pieces like the potter vessel.
And that's also prophecy where it goes into Psalms 137. We shall dash thy little ones.
137. I'll get 137.
Upon the stones. 137, and like the last 2 verses. Where it goes into happy shall he be that dasheth the little ones upon the stones.
I think that's an Ecclesiastic.
Psalms 137.
Oh no,
yep,
okay, my bad.
Yep,
so it's a lot. This is the book of Psalms 137, verse 9.
Yep.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
Wait, it said happy shall he be, right? Real quick, back to James 5:11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. So part of enduring, brothers are going to receive the power of the ability to be happy and dash what?
But I'm going to start from 7 so we can know who.
Yeah,
this is the book of Psalms 137, verse 7. Yeah. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom and the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Yeah, meaning erase it. That's what Esau was telling, okay, the Babylonians. Okay, erased, okay, the remembrance of the nation of Israel, pursuant to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Go ahead.
O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that take it and dash the little ones against the stones.
And that's gonna happen. That's happening spiritually, bro. We're dashing the modern day Edomites upon the stones. And what is that stone? That great millstone. Okay. Matter of fact, we're gonna get Isaiah 47. Okay, going into that stone. Okay, and that stone is actually the stone of Yahawashi. Yahawashi, he's our stone. Isaiah 47, 1 to 2.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for
Yep.
thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Okay.
Take the milestones and grind meal.
It says take the milestone, okay, or the millstone and grind meal.
Millstones
Yep.
and grill meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thighs, pass over the rivers.
Yeah, which that means that the Lord's gonna expose Esau, uncovering the thighs, uncovering the skirt of Esau. Okay, Esau's gonna be exposed of his wickedness by the prophets.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered,
There you go.
yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name. The Holy One is Israel.
Yep.
And then for that one, you go to Obadiah.
Oh gosh. And Obadiah is only one book, one chapter.
Book, yeah.
But it's a very deep chapter that goes into the judgment of Esau. There's a word known as eschatology, bro. That word eschatology means the study of prophecy of judgments upon Esau.
Yeah, this is the book of Obadiah, verse 3. The pride of thy heart had deceived thee.
Yeah, that the word heart again, the Hebrew is la'ah, which is your mind. But the mind of Esau has deceived them. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks.
Yeah, and Esau has in the ancient times, Esau used to live in a place called Petra. When you go to that word Petra, the feminine word is Petra. The masculine word is Peter, and Peter means rock. Petra also means rock. So he that liveth in the rocks.
And also you go with the word Caucasian.
Oh, Caucasus.
Caucasus Mountains.
Caucasus,
over there in Russia, Georgia, Russia, isn't it?
Yep, yeah, that's where you have a lot of those czars, the modern day czars, which are those Russians and those Ukrainians.
Yeah, the Ashkenazi.
Yeah, the Ashkenazi Jews, the Amalek. Yep.
The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock,
Yep.
whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And that's the mindset of Esau. Who's gonna bring me down?
Yep.
I've never been touched by no major kingdom.
Just like how the Romans were. They
Oh,
had
yeah.
all of these armies all around the world, and then little by little.
Yeah, it's known as gradualism because the Lord deals with nations through gradualism. He destroys them step by step. Matter of fact, yeah, go ahead.
Though thou exalted thyself as the eagle, as though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Saith the Lord.
Yeah, that's how the Lord's gonna bring them down. Now there was a I think it was in Exodus or something like that, but it says how the Lord is gonna destroy Esau, eat him little by little. YAHAWASHI now is gonna destroy Esau from one day to another. Now it's a process. Okay, it's a process of gradualism that YAHAWASHI uses according to his time, according to his will. I think that's in Exodus 7. Little by little, I think Exodus 7. You got something, bro? I'm trying to find. I got that one. Exodus 23 and 20. By little and little will I drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. So that goes into gradualism. The Lord deals with nations little by little to drive them out from before thee. So the Lord's going to drive out, okay, the heathens, just like the Lord drove out those ancient Canaanites. That's how he's going to do it in the modern day times to Babylon the Great. Okay, Babylon the Great is going to be like a nightmare. Okay, he's going to be also chased out of the earth pursuant to the book of Job, the 22nd chapter. Last one, bro.
Okay, there you go. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
It was at Isaiah 30?
It's 49 and 23.
Want to get Isaiah 2? También?
Yeah.
Isaiah 2 and the first.
Isaiah
Yeah, I think it's 2 and the first 5 verses. But backs that up, going into the nursing mothers. It's 2.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yep.
There's the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 3.
Yep.
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountains of the Lord.
Yeah, which the mountain is a kingdom, but also that word mountain has goes into the word monument, a place of remembrance. So you're gonna have the heathens who are gonna want to bring gifts to YAHAWAH, Shai. But in reality, they're gonna bring gifts to the people of Israel. Go ahead.
To the house of God of Jacob.
Yeah, the power of God, which is Jacob. Go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
Ooh, out of Zion shall come forth the law, the truth. Go ahead.
And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Yep.
And he shall judge among the nations, and he shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
Yep.
and their spears into pruning hooks.
Yep.
Nation shall not lift up the sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
So when the nation of Israel receives the kingdom of heaven, there's gonna be no more wars, man. No more World War III, civil wars, discord amongst brethren. Go ahead, bro.
O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
Yeah, and that's what the heathens are gonna say in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, let us walk in the ways of the Lord. Go ahead.
Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and our I think that was
Yeah,
it.
that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
That's another prophecy. Also, Psalms 148 in the last.
Yeah, I was gonna get it.
Yep.
This is the book of Psalms 148, chapter 13. Chapter 148, verse 13. Let them praise the name of the Lord, for his name alone is excellent.
Yeah, his name alone is excellent, and it means he exists, Yahawah, and his son's name is YAHAWASHI, which means he is victory or he saves. Go ahead.
His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn of his people.
Oh, his people, the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. Go ahead.
The praise of all his saints.
For the saints, Psalms 50 and 5 and Psalms 148. The saints are the Israelites. Go ahead.
Even the children of Israel,
Yep.
a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord.
When we get Psalms 149, BAHASHAM. 149, the last 2 verses.
Yeah.
You had that right?
I have 148 and then I'm going
Oh yeah, 149. Start at 1.
This is the book of Psalms 149, verse 1.
Yep.
Praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord a new song.
Yeah, and this is the new song, and that song is the song of victory. Go ahead.
And his praise in the congregation of saints.
The congregation of saints, santos, right?
Let Israel rejoice in him that made him.
Yeah.
Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be joyful with our king. We're not supposed to be in that woe is me spirit like Ezra's. Okay, which we don't understand that Ezra's, he's back in the reincarnation, and he's in a very joyful spirit. Okay, go ahead.
Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel,
Timbrel and harp.
Timbrel and harp.
The modern day timbrel and the modern day harp is the scriptures. There's an actual instrument. Go ahead.
For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people.
Yep.
He will beautify the meek with salvation.
Yep.
Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Yep.
Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand.
Yep.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen. Go ahead.
And punishment upon the people.
Yep.
To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetter of iron.
Oh, want to hold that gate, James 15. So this is prophecy, man. Even King David prophesied about
Which one?
James 15.
James?
Yeah, Salakia, Jeremiah 15.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
About to say a new scripture coming out. So yeah, that's prophecy. It's Psalms. David prophesied about the nation of Israel bringing the heathen into subjection, bringing them into captivity, which goes into the word slavery. Jeremiah 15, I think that's 2. Jeremiah 15, 2, where it says, the sword unto the sword. Yep, that's the one.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 2.
And this backs up Revelation 13. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?
Yep.
Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord.
Right, it says, thus saith the Lord. Go ahead.
Such as for death, to death, such as are for the sword, to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
So such as be for the captivity for slavery, and that backs up, okay, the book of Psalms 149. And that already happened to the nation of Israel. We've been throughout different captivities from the book of the Egyptians all the way to the modern day Babylonians. Okay, we went through captivity in Egypt, Babylon, Assyria, the Medo-Persians, the Grecian captivity, the Roman captivity, and at last this major captivity, which is Babylon, which is a total of 7 captivities. And 7 is a complete number. A complete number of slaveries that we've been through for the past 3,000 years. Still got something on Psalms 149?
Yeah.
So there's an example of how northern and southern kingdom we're going to have the actual heathens, okay, in chains.
To execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
So it's going to be an honor to have the heathens in chains, in subjection. And a good example that happened during the time of King David, bro. He had a Moab and Ammon, okay, licking the dust of his feet, meaning they were on the lower ground. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, no, that's it.
Oh, that's it for Psalms 149?
Yeah.
Want to get Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Yeah, so Esau had us in captivity. He still has us in captivity still to this day. Go ahead.
He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yep, and that's known as, they call it karma. Okay?
What goes around comes around.
Yeah, what goes around comes around.
You reap what you sow.
Or you reap what you sow, but it comes twofold. Because, for example, you know, just like Esau, you know, had us in captivity and he killed millions of our people. Well, guess what? According to prophecy, Esau's also going to get slain, but his name is going to be blotted out. Okay, that's a righteous judgment of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI.
Okay. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
There you go again. So YAHAWASHI, he was referencing Psalms, the 149th chapter. Okay, honor be all his saints, going back to Revelation 13 and 11. Okay, praise you the saints. The saints are the Israelites.
There's that one that says, he that sheds with the blood of the Lamb.
Shed the blood of the Lamb?
Yeah, if you shed you can't defile the Lamb with blood. He that's...
23?
23.
This 23 and 24. 33. 33.
There you go. So if we go to the he that leave it with captivity,
35, 33. Yep.
Here we go. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33.
Yep.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Yep. You reap what you sow.
Yep. And that goes back to that Revelation. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword.
That's how you cleanse the actual place. Okay, through the blood, okay, of the murderer. I think that's also in Ezekiel 35, bro, where it goes into Edom love with blood. And that's where you get also, I wrote it out yesterday in the group chat, when you go into the breakdown of Amalek, which is the chief tribe of Esau. Amalek means a low vibrational man, or a lower man of rank that likes to drink blood, going into adrenochrome. See, and a lot of these Amalekites, they drink the blood of the Israelites, okay, to stay in power, okay, to keep themselves young.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
And that's spiritual, bro, because when you go on Google, you go into slavery, modern slavery during the time of Esau, Edom, when he had the southern kingdom in captivity. And even in 1492, Esau has various like billboards that says no Negroes, no Mexicans, no dogs.
Yeah.
Yep. That's an example of perpetual hatred that Esau still has to this day. Go
By
ahead.
the force of the sword in the times of their calamity.
Yeah, in the time of our calamity, during the time that we were in captivity with the Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar. Go ahead.
In the time that their iniquity had an end.
Yep.
Therefore, as I live it, say the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
And that's a spirit, because when you go into the NOT version, it says that the Lord is going to create a bloodbath over Esau Edom. See? And that's the judgment, that's the eschatology, okay, of Esau Edom, Idumea. Okay, that's his final judgment. Okay, and being slain, okay, by the sword on the right hand side, and ultimately captivity. That's it for that.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, with that, you know, we pray this camp session was edifying. And again, we turn to the east. We give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, which are the men that taught us 100% truth according to the Holy Scriptures. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered amongst the heathen. Shalom.